Yes, sir. Hi, Rudy.
Oh, my phone is muted.
What's going on, bud?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear
Hello?
you perfectly.
All right, I was having technical difficulties. My name is Rudy. I'm a real estate agent, North Carolina real estate license. Haven't had any projects, had a few setbacks health-wise, but I did have an original goal of acquiring property at least once, one this month and one last month, but it didn't happen last month. So still working towards that goal on acquiring property. More than likely not to flip, but to hold and for a rental, for income. That's kind of where I'm at right now.
Cool. So what do you need to help move your business forward in the next 30 days?
I need, it's kind of the same thing I'm stuck at previously when I was trying to work on this. And I know it's just a matter of doing it. It's finding the property is number one, but number two would be, once I find the property, is how to work a deal, how to fund the deal, and that's kind of my hesitation.
Okay, well, we can talk about
going
that
forward.
Yeah, we'll make sure that's one of the topics of Show Me the Money during open floor.
Awesome.
Okay. All right, cool.
Brian.
So that's me.
Heck yeah,
Hey
Rudy.
guys.
Brian, do you want to
Brian on here? Oh, I lost you. Cut out on the end there. What was that?
go for it, buddy?
I'm just saying. Yep, Brian Hoskin here. I am a property investor. I own just a small, a handful of properties. Originally from Massachusetts, so no longer a landlord. I was a landlord for probably too long, over 20 years. And maybe 5 years ago, I've turned over everything to management companies. I 3 different states, but again, I'm small time. I have a handful, maybe 7 or 8 properties, 1 quad, mostly single families, condos, things like that. I only rehabbed once. I guess you can call it a flip, but I did wait over a year, so I didn't have the high taxes there. It was more for fun, something to do, and it wasn't that fun really. So I learned a lot from that. So I'm looking to get into, larger properties, whether it's by myself, duplex or quad, or with the assistance of others, a larger commercial. I've always been hesitant to get into that, just because it's new territory for me. But I guess in the next 30 days, really, it's finding a deal and being able to wrap it up, because honestly, anything I've come across and done some quick due diligence on, I mean, within 48 hours, it's kind of gone. And even trying to go out of state a bit, and I'm just not willing to jump in on something that doesn't give me some decent returns that I'm looking to get. And right now the market's so hot, I just I'm not going to pull the trigger and ride this wave up. So I'm willing, I'm ready to do something. I just can't find the right deal. So I don't have access to a lot of wholesalers, and usually when I do, I mean, they keep the good ones for themselves, right? And you'll see a lot of single families that need a flip or a rehab, and I don't mind doing some of that, but I don't want to get into it's really, I'm more of a buy and hold. So I'd like to add something to my portfolio with some value add, and it really comes down to finding the deal. And just that's the hard part right now, to be honest with you, is finding the deal. So I need something to happen.
All right. Yeah. So we'll talk about too then also how to find some deals.
Yeah, for sure. That'll be a good one. Hey Brad, how you doing?
Good. How are you guys?
I'm really dang good. Brad, you want to check in for us?
So I apologize for running a little bit late. I was on another call. Just a little bit about me. I'm an investor. I do flips and buy and hold. I'm also a full-time commercial realtor. and I also own a couple other small businesses. So.
Awesome. So Brad, what would you say you need to move your business forward in the next 30 days?
Right now, I'm looking for people who wanted to buy commercial real estate so I can represent them, and then I'm always looking for buy and hold properties. I mean, I'm trying to think. Basically, that's it. Just contacts for more commercial and more buy and hold.
All right, cool. Awesome. Hi, Carla.
Hey, how's it going, ladies?
Pretty dang good. Long time no talk. Carla, why don't you check in? What are you up to, and what do you need to move your business forward in the next 30 days?
So I need to find really low and cheap material prices, and I need to get my contractors aligned to do. I finally landed the deal in the Charlotte area. It's really close to like the 485. So I just need to make sure that I coordinate with like my supplies and my contractors in the next 30 days and getting my accounting and CPA in order and finalizing with an attorney. So those are the things I need in the next 30 days.
Awesome. Great to hear. We're excited to talk about that in open floor as well. Curtis Waters, do you want to check in?
I think that's a lot, right?
I love it.
Hey, Curtis Waters. I'm currently in the metropolis of Gastonia. And
Yes.
Carla, Carla have something else?
All right. Well, that's it for me.
Okay. All right. So, hey.
I'm sorry.
Okay. So, hey, yeah, I'm currently in Gastonia working on some rehab projects, and
Did y'all say Carla?
keep me pretty busy. Next 30 days, more hours in the day, but that's about all I need.
I love it. My name is Adina. Currently what I'm up to is I'm actually going through the NACA process. So I am going to be getting money that way to buy a house, my personal house that I will rent out rooms in, hopefully. So anyway, that is what I am currently up to. So what do I need to move my business forward in the next 30 days? I guess I just need to keep in contact with my counselor so they don't get mad at me. Bonnie, why don't you check in?
So my name is Bonnie Laszlo, also known as the Real Estate Hobby Millionaire for new people that are, obviously joining us today. And pretty much working on a lovely 20 renovations at the same time, which is a little insane, but we have probably about, 4 major ones that are taking place at the moment that are kind of time sensitive. So always looking for more contractors, good ones, reliable ones that show up and can follow instructions. That would be awesome. And yeah, so currently working on this project. We're camping out here, flying on all of our contractors at the moment. And we'll go and check their progress as soon as we're done with this meeting.
Yep, awesome. Okay, so let's roll right into wins. So wins is a time for us to talk about what we have accomplished in real estate this week or whenever, this month. So also, if you're looking to partner with people, it's a great way to like shout out accomplishments you've done, so they can kind of, get to know a little bit what's about you. So who has any wins to share?
I'm going to share a win real quick for a contractor that just he pulled his trailer off finally, Curtis. And I just saw him load up his apartment complex dumpsters with our stuff.
Oh, nah.
He pulled it right over there. I guess his trailer was a little too heavy, so he needed to lighten the load, and is currently.
I hope.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. Luckily, this particular one happens to live right across the street, it seems, from this particular project. So that's interesting.
He could barely pull those out.
And a win to Curtis, by the way, for pretty much babysitting two of the main projects that are underway since they're major renovation, and we're tag teaming so that he can go and have some lunch, and we are now at the job site babysitting, professional babysitting. And working at the same time, right? So win to us for making it happen in the vehicle.
Yes. All right. Any other wins, guys?
I got financing on a small mobile home park that I'm closing on Thursday. So now if I can just get the law firm to actually do their job, things would be grand.
All right. That's a good win. Congratulations. Any other wins, guys?
Yeah.
All right. Guys, we're going to go right into property pitches. So does anybody have any properties that they're pitching or reverse property pitches, something that they're looking for?
I will probably go ahead and pitch just a generality thing. So if anyone's looking for a renovation project, contact me, text. Oh, actually, I'm figuring out the text messaging isn't working for some reason, but you can call me at 980-533-0988, 980-533-0988, or you can text message 352-226-3535. Again, that's 352-226-3535 if you're looking for a renovation project. And then we can kind of go through what might be, in your neck of the woods. But I'm going to tell you right now, these ones, if you're calling me, they're full renovation projects.
Gotcha. All right, good to know.
Yeah, I've got when you're texting Bonnie about renovation projects, I just thought of another one that we have that's in the $85,000 range. It's a nice 3-bedroom, 1-bath. You could easily lay this out to a 3-2. It's on a large lot in Gastonia, not far from recently new construction. A lot of activity in the area.
Nice. All right, cool. And
Do you have any? I was just going to ask a question for Curtis if he had any contractor estimates for rehab or ARV value of it.
If we're doing it, we're going to probably put 20 to 30,000 into them. So someone's got to be prepared to, do that or use hard money lending for it. But we buy houses in bulk, and so we're in the middle of 20 right now. So obviously we've got a few to spare. So we'll eventually get to them. But, while we're waiting, we don't mind, snapping off a couple and closing them out, and we'll just get more since, it's raining houses in the Hobby Millionaire land.
I see. Okay, good. Thank you.
Welcome.
Hey, I've got one other quick win when it comes to property. So recently I affiliated with a nationwide company that does skip tracing, and I said, well, let me try it. And I've got someone sending me properties, and I looked them up, and it's over a 90% hit rate on contact info, phone numbers, emails, relatives' phone numbers, names, and emails as well. So that was a good win.
that's a very good win.
Oh, I am going to go ahead and add to at least the wins to, now that we're bringing this up, a win to Miss Adina. She has been keeping a lot of tenants calm and, cool and collected. Also contractors calm, cool and collected, because there's a lot of missing, pieces that I guess are getting lost in translation sometimes when you have a lot of moving parts. And onboarding a lot of these new contractors so they understand how to use the system, how to do the supply runs. Obviously how to also use the correct materials on all of our job sites, because a lot of our stuff is pretty cookie cutter. So win Adina for keeping it all together.
Thanks, Bonnie. I appreciate it. Yes, with 22 renovations, you definitely need to bring on a lot of new contractors. So that has been a lot of work, but very interesting. Okay, so any other property pitches or anything? All right, guys, so just to let you know, we do have a section called Needs and Wants, and that's if you need anything, want anything, I don't know, contractors or anything, you can type that into the chat with your needs and wants, and then your phone number, email address, however you want to be contacted. Also, if you want to say anything during the meeting and you don't feel weird cutting somebody off, if you have any questions, type them into the chat too, so we can bring them up as the next topic or anything like that. So use the chat box if you want. But anywho, let's go into open floor. This is where you guys control the meetings. What did you come for? What do you want to ask these experts? So who has the first question today?
Well, I know that we've got, what, 3 topics to go over, which is show me the money, how to find a deal, and also the renovation project.
Yep.
So I will go ahead and add tonight at 6:30. Oh, we got someone else coming in. Tonight at 6:30, we'll be at Scott's meeting. That's going to be over in Charlotte. And
Dilworth Grill.
yeah, we'll be speaking over there at 6:30. And we're talking about the BRRRR, which is buying, renovating, right? Renovating, renting, refinancing. So it's got all of these 3 topics that we'll be talking about tonight. So I guess this is just a dry run of what's going to happen this evening in a very short, condensed version of it.
Yeah, guys, so come to the Dilworth Grill tonight at 6:30. There's also a Zoom link that you can see the meeting as well. We'll be posting it on all of our personal Facebook pages as well as the Hobby Millionaire page, so you'll be able to see that link.
Yeah. And I believe for those that are, staying at home and stuff, the whole Zoom aspect of it, is also another way to do it. But if you wanted to come and see us in person, you know where to find us. I know. So let's go ahead and we'll start with the whole money process, I guess. Okay. So just so if you're looking for money, just depends on which type of project you want to do. Let's talk about a renovation project, right? So you've got something that needs a lot of work. So a lot of times we go to hard money lenders to be able to get those projects done because they're not habitable yet. So from there, you've got a multitude of different hard money lenders to choose from. You could pay anywhere from 8% up to 15%. And they're going to want to lend you pretty much 70% of the after repair value. So let's say that there's a house that you're going to fix, and just for easy number sakes and easy of math, it's going to equate to $100,000. So they're going to, in essence, give you 70 grand to get that job done, right? So if you buy the property for 50 grand and then you renovate it for 20, that's going to put you close to all in minus, whatever, acquisition costs and stuff you have and holding factors. But just know that you have $70,000 pretty much to get that project done. And you can go to a hard money lender that should be able to lend to you between 6 months to 24 months on a project like that. And a lot of it is asset based. So it's not going to necessarily be based on your credit and stuff like that. They're going to look at the project and your experience to see if they're going to lend to that. If you have more experience, you might even be able to get people to lend 100% of it. So that you don't have to come out of pocket. You just have to make it rain, right? If you've got other properties too that you can have as collateral maybe, to make them feel more confident, in your abilities, you can kind of use those as collateral just to make sure you get the job done. Remember, money is confident. So everyone wants to make sure that you know what you're doing. So they're confident that they're going to get their monthly payment, and that you're not going to squander, that $20,000 renovation fund. So in regards to money, hard money, does anyone have any questions about how that kind of works? Go ahead, Philip.
Yeah, I have 2 questions. One, do hard money lenders typically lend to LLCs without a personal guarantee? And second question is, what is the typical time frame, the first term time frame for hard money on the renovation?
Great questions. I mean, it depends on the hard money lender. We have some that lend without the parent or personal guarantees, and then we have some that want the personal guarantees. I don't mind signing a personal guarantee because I mean, I can do these in my sleep. I've gotten up to 500 units myself, so doing, one simple renovation project isn't a big deal. But depending on if you're doing IRA funds, right? So those particular monies, you're not supposed to have a personal guarantee on. So if someone is lending to you out of their self-directed IRA or Roth account, 401k, that kind of stuff, it just depends on how they're going to do it. But specifically, your IRA self-directed ones are the ones that, you aren't supposed to be doing personal guarantees on. But I still see people doing them, you know. I mean, it's a confidence factor. They want to be able to know that they have, you know, some kind of recourse, you know, against that. And I don't fault anyone for that kind of thing. Anyone have anything to add in regards to their experiences with the hard money lenders? And they are lending in LLCs, but I have seen people lend in people's names too, as long as it's not their owner occupied property.
And the second question was, how long will they give me to rehab this $100,000 property that I'm putting 20 in?
Normally I've seen 6 months to 24 months. It just depends on the lender.
Ronnie, you want to mute yourself?
Bonnie, so you mentioned there's confidence in there, right? They look at experience. Do you, or would it be wise for me with no experience here to try to find somebody to partner with that has more experience?
Yeah, if you don't have experience, you're definitely gonna.
I would take.
Yeah, if you don't have any experience, you're gonna want to tag along. We have things that are called investor support, where you support another investor that's going through the process, just so you can get some credibility behind you and you can see what's going on, right? But a lot of times the hard money lenders are not going to lend the money to you without vetting a lot of it, or you using let's say a general contractor if you don't know what you're doing, and they're going to look over your scope of work and that kind of thing.
Okay, so I would need I guess get with you or find out how to find a partner.
Yeah, we can talk about that more. Yeah, we can talk about that more too. Curtis, you want to go ahead and talk about that, because I've got a contractor right here want to ask me a question real quick. So Curtis, can you answer that question?
Okay, so what was the question again, Rudy? Mine broke up here.
I was asking, Bonnie brought up about hard lenders lending to people with, you know, confidence and have experience, and I don't. So she mentioned something about support for me to tag along, I guess, if I were to partner up with somebody that has more experience.
Yeah, so, you know, when she says the money is confidence, there's a local, a guy that runs a local company. You can look him up, Old North Capital Fund. And what he does is he lends to people based upon the value of the property. He doesn't ask you to get an appraisal. He will do his own essentially street appraisal to see what the value is. And you know, a lot of these lenders are concerned about loaning to startup investors. So what they're looking for is, do you know what you're doing? So if you are out doing investor support for someone else, the nice thing about it is you can answer a lot of these questions that they're going to ask, because typically for a new investor, they're going to ask you to put together a budget, a scope of work, probably a timeline. You know, let's say that you looked at the house that, you know, one of the ones that we're offering, and you say, well, I'm going to have to do floor repairs, maybe some floor leveling. I've got to upgrade the electrical system. I got to put in HVAC. They're looking for pricing for all this. And they want to see materials and labor. They want to see, you know, hey, you put together the scope of work so that you know what you're doing. Usually before they will make the loan, you know, they're going to say, hey, there may be a cost. So you're going to pay $150 even in some case for an inspector to come out and say, yeah, this guy actually knows what he's doing. And then every time you pull a draw, you know, if you bought a house and you said, oh, I need $30,000 of hard money, you don't get it all at once. That's the other reason you're doing the scope of work and you're looking at timing and so on. They're going to give you this money in at least 2, if not 3 or 4 draws. So in that draw situation, they're going to come out each time and say, all right, you've done X, X, and X, and because you've done this, we will release money to you. So you have to pay it up front, and then they reimburse you as you move along. So the more you know, the better you are at preparing the scope of work, preparing your budget, your timeline, and so on. And it's just good practice. So now whenever you go and you do one of these projects, you don't have any surprises come up. I've even suggested to new investors that if you're not sure about what needs to be done, get the property inspected, get a home inspector out there, so that you don't have any of these surprises, and it'll tell you a lot about the property. Every one of these is a learning process. I learn something new every day, especially working on renovations.
Speaking of inspection services, I have a new inspection service I want to refer when somebody needs one.
Okay, why don't you put that in the chat box? Okay.
All right, so let's go ahead and we'll talk now about normal financing. So normal financing. So Adina obviously is going through the NACA program. That is the cheapest money on the street. So if anyone's looking for owner occupied money, I saw as low as like 1.7. I posted it on my Facebook and also I think into the Hobby Millionaire group. I mean, we're seeing COVID miracles, guys, 1 and 2%, ranges here. I mean, that's like free money practically. We're used to paying 10 to 15, 8, whatever. So, obviously if you're going to be holding something for a long time, whether it's a rental property or your personal residence, of course, that would also be something you'd want to look into. And that's naca.com. And you will have to go through a 3-hour presentation. They're doing them now via Zoom, which is nice because back in my day, we had to go and show up there to do it. So there's that money. And then there's just normal money. So you're going to go to the bank and they're going to want you to put 20% down or 15% down, and you're going to buy a rental property and they're going to fund it. And you're going to use the rent money in essence to, make the mortgage payment, and you're going to take the spread. So obviously with normal bank financing, they're going to see a couple tax returns, your credit report, and knowing that you have a job, that kind of thing. And, Phil, I think, is going through a refinance on one of his properties right now through a credit union, which is giving him, I think, on investment property, I think you're at 3% now, or they drop it for you?
They dropped it from 350 to 325. It's
Nice.
it is a 65% loan to value financing on the property.
Yeah, and so he's doing a cash out refi, right? So cash out refinance.
It's a cash out refi.
Yeah, because he's still in the
217,000.
Yeah, that's great. $217,000 to go buy more real estate with, right? And that's on a cash out, and that's at 65%, loan to value and everything. So just realize, guys, there's different ways to get your financing done. Let's say that Phil wanted to partner in with Adina, let's say, and they wanted to go and get new acquisition financing because they were going to buy it from Phil's company. Well, then you're looking at a whole different scenario where you're back at 80% loan to value. So always keep that in mind. New acquisition terms a lot of times are a lot better than cash out refi. So if you have one company that is doing renovations and it handles all that kind of stuff, and then maybe you and your partners or something, or vice versa, have a holding company, then you might want to have that company do the purchase, and it does change legal deedship ownership and everything. Then you can get some better terms. So just something to kind of think about, multiple ways to, play with the financing aspect on your properties. It's, I would say there's, if you have the deal, guys, the money is out there. And if you have gaps in your credibility or gaps in your credit or gaps in your job or gaps in whatever, then get a partner to help fill that gap, right? It's better to have 50% of something than 50% of nothing, right? Or 100% of nothing. So yeah, just everyone, kind of have to think.
I have a question on that, if I can. So that scenario with the refi, I mean, is that on a single family or a multifamily property?
This is a single family property here in Charlotte.
Okay.
With no mortgage.
I asked this because I have a quad actually in Massachusetts, where I'm originally from, but I'm at 5% on that. I refinanced it, maybe 6 or 7 years ago. I've owned it 13, 14 years. and looking to refi that. It was several months ago, about 3 or 4 months ago, I looked into it, and I could refi it at 15-year for low threes. The problem is they wanted 3 points, being a quad, not owner occupied. Like, oh,
The reason this one is dragging out is because I first went to BB&T, which is now whatever the new name is. Not BB&T, but yeah, whatever it is, it's the new name.
okay.
And they wanted 2.5 points. They only gonna give me. They were gonna give me a 30-year mortgage. Let me take that back. They were gonna give me a 30. But they wanted 2.5 points, and they went 375. So I'm now with the American Airlines Credit Union, which is 3.25 and no points. But they're restricting me to a 15-year mortgage, and this will be my third mortgage with them. I don't know if that has something to do with it, but it's the first cash out refi. The other two are just straight purchases.
And guys, it's just like, you know, anything in life. I mean, you're going to look for the cheapest money on the streets. You're going to look for the best deal. So you can call a multitude of different banks and see what they're offering based on what you're offering, and, you know, see who's going to give you the best, you know, rates and the best structure and that kind of thing. 3 points from a bank, I know you can get it for, you know, 0 points to 1 point. So you might want to kind of look around at some other places. So it's a numbers game. I mean, it's all about just shooting, cut and pasting it out to every bank on the planet and seeing who's got extra money to lend to you.
Okay. One question, if I could, on the hard money financing, because I probably in your case, because you so many of these and are doing so many of these, you might even occasionally lend to certain situations. So I was curious about learning a little bit about this. I've heard from the limited talks I've had about hard money financing. In some cases, they will do a promissory note, and in some cases they'll do, I don't exactly know what it means. Like some cases they'll be on the deed like a typical mortgage would be. In some cases, I guess they're not on the deed, but it's a promissory note. So I'm always nervous about whether I want to help somebody lend money, like, because I've never done it before, first off. And how do they hold title to the home, or usually just do a promissory note, like I guess where they would maybe foreclose if the person doesn't?
When people, are you talking about when people lend us money, how it's structured?
Well, I guess both ways, in case maybe you loaned some in the past. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. So whenever you lend money, it's just like lending a mortgage. You know, you wire the funds to the attorney, and they do the paperwork, and they put the mortgage on the property or the deed of trust on the property. And those both, you know, come with the promissory note, which structures out how things are going to get paid back, right? Now, whenever we're lending the money, same kind of deal. You know, we wire our funds into the attorney's office. They do the paperwork, and, you know, we put the mortgage on the property, and they make the payments to us.
Okay, so this promissory note and / deed, they're the same things, I guess, apparently. I'm kind of separating. I'm thinking there's two different ways.
Yeah, when you're doing lending, you're going to notice there's two different things. You know, there's obviously the promissory note, which talks about the structures, right? And then you have the other portion of the lending packet, which attaches the property to your note, kind of thing. And you're going to, and you know, you can have unsecured financing. You could do promissory notes and not take anything if you wanted to. But if you're going to be in first position on a house, that's always more secure than, you know, in essence, allowing someone to buy a house on a credit card. And then you just have your personal guarantee, maybe, you know, if you think that they're secure or have, you know, I wouldn't suggest to lend without, you know, having it attached to the property, and I wouldn't expect anyone to do that. You know what I mean?
Okay. All right. Good. No, thank you for that. Actually, because I actually know somebody that does do that, and they're kind of new at this. They've done a little bit of it. I think they're from New York. They have some.
Yeah, if they do that, they'll do it up until the first time someone doesn't pay them something, and then they're gonna have a rude awakening. Yeah. They have like zilcho recourse, you know, against the person, or, you know, you don't have real estate to you know, put back up on the market and liquidate it to get your money back. So
okay, yeah. Good. Thank you for that.
No problem. Okay, so let's go ahead and go into how do you find a deal. Well, obviously the obvious thing is, hi, we're real estate brokers. we're also real estate investors. We're investors kind of first before we got the broker thing down. So, you know, I'm my own best client in essence. A lot of the hobby millionaires, they kind of came into the licenses the same way. So we're all looking for the same kind of thing, but there's not enough, like, there's not enough time in the day for myself, Curtis, Adina, or any other person who has a license to be able to do all of the deals themselves. They're just, I mean, it's impossible. So why not go ahead and share them with your friends, your clients, you know, and that kind of thing. So obviously finding the deals that way. We also work with wholesalers too. Same kind of thing, you know. Everyone works out what, you know, they're going to share in regards to who's going to get paid what. If you're, you know, obviously, you know, wholesaling versus, you know, doing just normal commissions as a brokerage fee. So, and then there's assignment fees too, right? So we can get things under contract and then pretty much, you know, work out what the assignment fees are going to be. So finding the deals, I mean, I've never had to go any further than MLS, Craigslist, or my network, you know, because I tell everybody what I buy. And so people will go ahead and bring the deals to us. And then there's also, I mean, where else are people? I mean, people just post them on Facebook, you know what I mean? So, and you know, for the most of the population, you're not buying in vast quantities like what we do. So if you're just looking for a deal, and I have like a show me the money class, right? So everyone kind of hangs out, we bunker down for 3 hours, and we get on Craigslist and we start talking to sellers, right? And start making offers. And we're going to find, you know, something that's got a deal in it. Or we work off of the MLS ones, and yeah, it could be listed for $100,000, but my offer obviously is going to, you know, be less than that. So we got something that was on MLS that was listed for 100. We ended up getting it for 70 something. Okay. So just because, you know, everyone kind of asks like, how do I find a deal? I'm not finding anything. Well, a lot of it's because you're not creating it, right? So a lot of it's creating the deal. But if you don't have time to do that, then, you know, hire a pro. I mean, we're the brokers that do this for ourselves. And then we also have deals that come to us that we can't do. So then we kind of pass them off to our clients to say, okay, first here, which one of you guys are ready to buy something in the next 30 days? And then they'll say, we are, you know, whatever. I'm like, okay. So then we can see which person, you know, actually wants to move forward with something versus other buyers that are like, oh, I'm still in my renovation. I'll be done in 60 days, 90 days. But we mainly deal with a lot of investors too, with finding our deals and selling the deals and obtaining the deals, right? Because if I just bought a property from the person, half the time they've got some more. And so we'll buy that one from them, and then we'll keep harassing them saying like, hey, you want to sell another one? You want to, until they finally do, or until we bring them another deal that they will sell us that other house to trade into another one. So I don't know, finding the deal. Is there anything anyone wants to add to that? I mean, is anyone finding deals a different way?
I found the one I'm closing on this week. I found that one on Craigslist.
Yeah,
On Saturday, I was looking at Craigslist and
yeah,
found what was there, and it's a superb deal. And
but is anyone finding deals a different way than the way that I, you know, between MLS, Craigslist, your network and the wholesalers and real estate agents? Anyone find, and of course, that you bought something from and you ask them to sell you more.
Yes, I saw some moving trucks. So I parked in my car near there and walked up and talked to them. I ended up buying the place. It took a few months for them to sell it, but just seeing sometimes, generally that's better for where you live in your neighborhood. In this case, it was in a neighborhood. So you just see the moving trucks and, hey, you moving? You're going to rent it? You're going to sell it. And then, you know, so that happened to me once. That was actually pretty nice, but yeah, that's rare.
Awesome.
But so is the MLS. I'm surprised because if you're able to lowball like that, these are things that are probably sitting on the market for some time, and it just seems like anything halfway decent.
Not necessarily, because I'm the person that's coming in saying, hi, I'll buy your house for cash in 10 days and I'll give you a $10,000 non-refundable deposit.
Ah, okay. Well, I
right?
learned something very
So
good.
yeah, so
Very interesting.
everyone is kind of like, oh, it's highest and best. I'm like, all right, we'll play highest and best. Let's see what that looks like, right?
Okay.
So although you will
Yeah.
go and you're asking for 100, but hey, why don't you sell to me for 80 cash? I'll close in a week and I'll give you $10,000 right now.
Wow. I think you got one from me one time then, I think. Very recently.
Name actually does look familiar. When I looked at that, I'm like, that name looks a little familiar. So you can probably look up Bonnie Laszlo in your email, and who knows if I'm in there. But yeah, I mean, it's all about just if you know the market and you know what you're getting into, and we're pretty confident we can fix anything. I look at it and I just assume the worst case scenario, and for a $20,000 reduction, I know that I should be able, like, if I walk into something that's kooky or something, I'm hoping that will pay for itself. And then I just bought something at market value. You know what I mean?
I see. Right.
Yeah.
There's a nice triplex out near Myrtle Beach right now on the MLS, but once I got the agent on the phone, found out it needs close to 50,000 in repairs, I kind of shied away because it's far enough away from me where I don't want to take on a project like that, not knowing any local people. But boy, hell of a Airbnb or one or two long term. And I love
Why don't you just work on site? If it's out there on the beach at Myrtle, just go to the beach for a month, and go handle it.
I probably would have had to evacuate a half a dozen times this year with all the hurricanes, but
yeah, true. Make sure everything in there is tile. Okay,
yeah,
and
right.
then let's see, we got 10 more minutes. So let's go ahead and talk about renovation. So renovation. I know that Carla was on here. She had a bad connection, so she's not on here anymore. So did anyone have any questions about renovation specifically, or if we want to go into a different topic? Because I know, well, you know what, Carla, she may watch this I'll upload it up to the Hobby Millionaire channel on YouTube. So let's talk real quick just about renovation. So renovation, guys, that's where you're going to make or break your deals a lot of time, and you can't get taken for a ride. You cannot be paying $8,000 an HVAC system, okay? So you got to know what your numbers are. We do have a Rehab Riches class that's going to be this weekend, and that's when you're with me in Home Depot for 3 hours. Yes, tennis shoes are a must. And I'm letting you take pictures of all the stuff that we buy and what the pricing is, and how much the labor costs normally are. And that way you can go into your renovation project with some flat rate, numbers. And it's like, hi, who can come and install my HVAC system for $1,500? Who can come in here and paint this house for $1,000? Who can come in here and lay the flooring in this between vinyl and carpet for $2,000? So that way you have at least some basic almost asset management numbers, because I used to do repositioning too for luxury A-class apartments. So when I first got here from Florida, I was working over at 2 luxury A-class properties here in Charlotte, and that's where I fell in love with your city, with the whole lovely 1 bedrooms going for $1,000. That is nuts. And then you can go and buy houses for 50,000 and below. Yeah, so I was just like, this is a really, really good market. And we've been pretty much doing the same thing with renovating properties in Charlotte and renting properties pretty much in Gastonia, Shelby. Some people are in South Carolina, Statesville. So I mean, I've never had problems finding houses to fix and getting really good deals on those, because a lot of people don't want to fix something. And remember, I'm not fixing anything. I'm here watching everyone else do it, but the only difference is that I'm the person who got on the phone and called 100 people, but then passed it off to Adina and told her to go call 100 people, to find the contractors that can do these flat rates. And it's not like we're paying cheap or anything like that. It's that lovely middle ground. It's not retail. It's not cheap. It's right there in the middle, because at the luxury apartment complexes, guys, HVAC change outs, they're getting the condensing units for $500, and the maintenance tech who's getting paid $20 an hour or $18 an hour is the one changing out that unit that day. Okay. $18, $20 times 10 hours. That's $200. So if I'm offering someone who's certified, HVAC to do a change out or whatever on something, and we're offering to pay them, $1,300 to $1,500 whenever, the luxury cast apartments are getting them installed for $200 to $500. I mean, do those numbers and understand what people are paying, right? And you can probably even Google asset management numbers on multifamily or something. So if people are getting their apartments done, do you really think 100 to 300 unit apartment complex is paying $7,000 a pop?
No, I don't think so.
Phil, it's like, and guys, I used to work at an apartment complex multiple times. And whenever I was first, starting this in college, I worked at an apartment complex, and the maintenance guys came and worked on my properties on the weekend and after hours, right? To help me out. And also, I was paying more than what they were getting paid at the apartment complex for these one-off kind of things, ceiling fan, HVAC or a dishwasher install, little things. And it's good. It's a little bit of extra money for them, and I get a good deal, and it's a great relationship if you can find those. And you guys can go to any apartment complex, probably find the dude that's on a golf cart running around over there with his gauges hanging off the back, and hand him a business card and have him call you if he has any time on the side to do something, and maybe the guy calls you, to do something, on a weekend that he has open, one time a month, right? But one time a month is going to save you thousands of dollars, right? So, fruit for thought, guys. Any questions about renovation or any more of that?
Yeah, when you go to Home Depot so I can follow along.
Sorry, what was that?
I said, when do you do that where you go to Home Depot so I can follow along?
Yeah, we're gonna put it up on Meetup, so it'll be on Meetup where you can sign up for rehab.
Okay.
I know someone else wants it too, so I always have a class that's available after Investor World, which is on Thursday. So you have us, to pretty much pick our brains and everything for 2 full hours, and we'll go over some, specific content as well. But we make ourselves available to you guys, Tuesday at noon, Tuesday at 7 o'clock. And then also Wednesday at 7 o'clock, right? So you get 3 hours to just spend your money on real estate. Don't pay 30 to 50,000 on books and tapes. You got the information right here. I remember all too well how hard it was to get through this process and be successful at it without having this kind of thing. Okay. It was me and Carlton Sheets back in the day. And I know that a lot of people that are in Hobby Millionaire have had a lot of traction, and it's because you keep coming back, keep getting inspired, keep sharing. You learn, earn, and return, as we call it. Phil's been around since, a while. I mean, there's a lot of Gen 1, Hobby Millionaires from Charlotte, because remember, I used to be in Florida too. But you just keep coming back and you share this information, and we can all save money. We can all know what's going on in the markets and stuff. And Home Depot, I use it. I used to use Lowe's, but Home Depot has a better text to confirm process, so I can see everything that everyone's buying right on my cell phone. They text me. I can see who's buying it. I can see which property address they're at. I can see images of what they're buying to make sure it's not beef jerky and energy drinks and DeWalt drills.
My brother did that.
And it's like, dude, I'm like, I'm not buying your beef jerky and I'm not buying your Monster drink. And what is with all of you? One of the most recent one was like $40 rubber boots or something. And I'm like, dude, we're not paying for that. You need to take that off. So,
and I don't pay for tools either. I find they'll put tools on there.
Yes, they do. And that's why Home Depot is just so much better, so you can thumb through and see stuff. I do personally pay for saw blades because I know that they're ripping all that wood at my project, and I am dulling out all of their blades. But they have to have their own, their own drills. And
yeah, I pay for the saw blade. I don't want to pay for a new saw.
I'm not paying for the jigsaw.
A new drill. A new drill.
Yeah.
And another thing too, if you're in a new place, like if you do the Myrtle Beach thing, right? I go into a brand new place. I've never been there before. I go pick up my contractors at Home Depot. So people go and shop for supplies and everything. I go there and I shop for contractors. So investor support people have come to look over our shoulder and everything. They've been with us in the morning to meet the contractors. They're going to be checking out, asking me questions and stuff. But I'm also there. If I need a plumber, I'm going to go stand in the plumbing section until they show up, right? Or I'm going to be at the pro desk waiting there, checking out my people. But I'm also looking at what other people are buying in their cart or on their flatbeds and everything. I'm like, oh, you're carpentry. Can I text you my number, or let me text you or get a card or something, and we'll talk later. Because they want to get in and out because they're going to a job site and everything. And then the QT, I'm sorry, but 7:30 in the morning, guys, it's a gold mine. You go there, they're filling up their trucks and everything, to get to wherever they're going, and they're picking up their coffee and so it's just, go to where contractors go, right? They're going to Home Depot. They're going to the gas station.
Mexican restaurants at
Yep.
lunch.
Lunchtime Mexican restaurants, they're there too. Barbecue restaurants, they're there as well. Where else are they at?
They're everywhere.
Yeah. In Gastonia, they're at Ball's Grill. I've never been there in the morning. Curtis has, but
I like QT and Home Depot.
Yeah,
You
the
don't need to
food's
go
pretty
anywhere
good.
else.
Food trucks maybe at lunch.
Brian Hoskin, what was the price range of the Myrtle Beach condo, and do you have the address?
Well, I don't have the MLS is down on another screen. And if I look it up, I'll probably disconnect. But the price was, I want to say it was 259,000. It was listed a couple months back at 309. So that's where it came in, and they found the structural issues with it. And they do have contractors that gave them estimates at, it was 25,000, but where the 50 comes in is it also had original windows and really some other things that needed to be taken care of. That's where it really comes up to the 50 to bring it up, to a little modernized, but to repair the sagging floor, because I guess pretty much all the joists in half the house.
So it was a SFR?
I'm sorry?
So it was a single family residence?
Well, no, yes, originally there's a single family home, 3-bedroom, 1 bath. And then to the right of it is they added on, they made it's not really a studio. It's a 1-bedroom, 1 bath.
So why don't you go ahead and guys connect on the Facebook Hobby Millionaire group. So Brian, make sure you're on the Facebook Hobby Millionaire group. Phil, you're on there already too. You guys connect. You can talk about the project and everything, because we are out of time and my computer is juice and it's about to cut us off.
But guys, remember, tonight, usually we have a 7 p.m. meeting, but we're going to be tonight at Scott's meeting at Dilworth Grill at 6:30. It's on Zoom, whatever. Also, tomorrow, 7 p.m., we have our Wednesday meeting. Thursday, bonus meeting, 7 to 9 p.m. We're going to be meeting. So, I mean, there's plenty of time to ask other questions.
Yep. And so we hope to see you guys tomorrow at 7. So just click the little link and we'll see you then. Otherwise, we'll see you tonight in person. But have a great day, guys. Happy investing. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.